Inspired by the Center for Studies on Africa and its Diaspora Read-a-Thon in honor of Black History Month, GSU students shared their picks for the greatest books of all time. GSU TV was on hand when students read passages from their favorite books from diverse backgrounds and discussed the impact their selected literature had on them and their lives.
Hey, I'm Andre Serrano, a student at Georgia State University, and I'm studying music production and audio recording. One of my favorite books of all time is the autobiography of Malcolm X. It's a book that inspired me to read basically every other book I've ever read, and right now I'm sitting here reading one of his final speeches. The press can take an image and make a criminal look like the victim look like a criminal, and end up with the criminal putting the victim in jail. America is guilty of image making through the press to justify anything they have in mind to do.
Hi, my name is Anderson Cochran, and I'm a grad student here at Georgia State University studying digital media strategies. And I'll be reading from Prince's book, The Beautiful Ones. He recalled the enchanting sight of his father's right hand playing the piano, his desperation to be able to do that. The interior life he developed at a young age set against the rhythm of North Minneapolis. On interminable Sunday mornings, he'd have to sit through church and a trip to the bakery afterwards. What you hear is true. Black church services last too long. Are we there yet? He remembered asking, meaning home, where he could watch The Wizard of Oz and try to figure out why he liked Over the Rainbow so much. I was studying my father, studying my mother, he said. If you know where you're from, know what time it is, you'll get to where you're going. This book is actually my mom's book, and Prince means a lot to her, and because he means so much to her, he means a lot to me, so I figured that I'd just share it with you.
My name is Carla Michelle Gomez, and I am a graduate student in the English department here at Georgia State University, and I will be reading a passage from The Healers by Ayikwe Arma. Often our confusion comes merely from impatience. The disease has run unchecked through centuries, yet sometimes we dream of ending it in our little lifetimes, and despair seizes us if we do not see the end in sight, Danfo laughed. The laughter of a man amused first at himself. Then he added, a healer needs to see beyond the present and tomorrow. He needs to see years and decades ahead, because healers work for results so firm they may not be wholly visible till centuries have flowed into millennia. Those willing to do this necessary work, they are the healers of our people. I chose this passage because Ayikwe Arma was, if not the first, one of the first African writers that I read, and his take on the healing that is necessary to bring together a community, it was holistic, I thought, and it was more about conversation to an extent. And it just really blew my mind because from the title, I thought that we would be dealing with more physical healing. And he just blew that out of the water for me, that concept. So.
My name is Daniel Ili Kelso. I am an undergraduate student here at Georgia State University, and my major is journalism. My favorite series of all time is the Dune series. And whenever anyone asks, I always say that Children of Dune is my favorite book in the series. This book resonates with me for lots of reasons. I first read it when I was 18 and transitioning into adulthood. And it was also the year 2000 when the world was changing and moving into a more digital society. I am on sand in bright yellow daylight, yet there is no sun. Then I realize that I am the sun. My light shines out as a golden path. When I realize this, I move out of myself. I turn, expecting to see myself as the sun. But I am not the sun. I am a stick figure, a child's drawing with zigzag lightning lines for eyes, stick legs and stick arms. There is a scepter in my left hand, and it's a real scepter, much more detailed in its reality than the stick figure which holds it. The scepter moves, and this terrifies me. As it moves, I feel myself awaken. Yet I know I'm still dreaming. I realize then that my skin is encased in something, an armor which moves as my skin moves. I cannot see this armor, but I feel it. My terror leaves me then, for this armor gives me the strength of 10,000 men.
Hi, I'm DeYoung Clark, and I'm a doctoral candidate in English Literary Studies at Georgia State University. My greatest book of all time is Jesmyn Ward's Sing, I'm Buried, Sing. And as you can possibly see, I've read this book more times than I can even remember. Jasmine Ward does such an amazing job of telling us about her home, the South, and telling us about the characters and bringing them to life. So I'm going to read from chapter 6, entitled Richie. The boy is Rivers. I know it. I smelled him as soon as he entered the fields, as soon as the little red dented car swerved into the parking lot, the grass trilling and moaning all around. When I followed the scent to him, the dark, curly-haired boy in the back seat. Even if he didn't carry the scent of leaves disintegrating to mud at the bottom of the river, the aroma of the bull of the bayou, heavy with water and sediment, and the skeletons of small dead creatures, crab, fish, snakes, and shrimp. I would still know he is River's boy by the look of him. The sharp nose, the eyes dark as swamp bottom, the way his bones run straight and true as River's, indomitable as Cypress. He is River's child. Sing unburied sing.
My name is Duncan Rollinson. I am an undergrad at Georgia State, studying journalism, finishing soon. And my greatest book of all time is Percy Jackson and the Sea of Monsters. For me, this book was the first book that I read where I was like, yes, reading. And I was a big reader as a kid, especially. So this book, in even ways not related to what the book was about, has been massively influential on my life. My nightmare started like this. I was standing on a deserted street in some little beach town. It was the middle of the night. A storm was blowing. Wind and rain ripped at the palm trees along the sidewalk. Pink and yellow stucco buildings lined the street, their windows boarded up. A block away, past a line of hibiscus bushes, the ocean churned. Florida, I thought. Though I wasn't sure how I knew that. I'd never been to Florida. Then I heard hooves clattering against the pavement. I turned and saw my friend Grover running for his life. Yeah, I said hooves.
My name is Kennedy Ajayohene, graduate student in communications at GSU. I'll be reading from The Modern African American Political Thought Reader, edited by Angela Jones. And I'll be taking a passage from Anna Julia Cooper. Anna Julia Cooper is one of the few African American women in the first 20th century to attain a PhD. Even though she was educated, she didn't limit her activism in the classroom. She was outspoken and she advocated for women empowerment through education. Womanhood, a vital element in the regeneration and the progress of a race, written in 1852. The vital agency of womanhood is the regeneration and progress of a race. As a general question, is considered almost before it is fairly stated. I confess one of the difficulties for me in the subject assigned lay in its obviousness. The plea is taken away by the opposite attorneys granting the whole question. Women's influence on social progress. Who in Christendom doubts or questions it? One may as well be called on to prove that the sun is the source of light and heat and energy to this many-sided little world. Nor, on the other hand, could it have been intended that I should apply the position when taken and proven to the needs and responsibilities of the woman of our race in the South. For it is not written, "Cursed is he that cometh after the king, and has not the king already preceded me in," the black woman of the South.
Hi, my name is Laim Husseini. I'm an undergrad student here at Georgia State studying journalism and political science. And for my book, I chose Khalid Hosseini's A Thousand Splendid Suns. One of the central themes of this story is the place of women in Afghan society and sort of the gender-based violence and discrimination they're exposed to as a result of the patriarchal society. And I believe it's summed up really well in the passage I'm about to read, where the main character, her mother tells her, "Learn this now and learn it well, my daughter. Like a compass needle that points north, A man's accusing finger will always find a woman, always. You remember that, Mariam.
Hi everyone, my name is Lucy Rios. I'm from Colombia. I go to Georgia State. I'm doing a master's in world languages and cultures. Today I'll be reading a passage from Las Estrellas Son Negras by Arnoldo Palacios, who is one of the most renowned Black Colombian authors. And this book is a really well-known book and tells the story about a little bit about the Afro-Colombian community. So I'm going to read in Spanish and English. El gobierno no hacía nada por remediar la suerte de los pobres. Había vivido de promesas toda la vida. En realidad, el gobierno nada hacía por los pobres. Y lo conveniente era matar al intendente, sacarlo del medio por inepto, culpable. La sangre tomó un ardor diferente en las venas de Irra. Ahora sentía cambiar el curso de la existencia. Now in English. The government was not doing anything to remedy poor people's luck. He had lived from promises all his life. In reality, the government was not doing anything for the poor, and the convenient thing to do was to kill the quartermaster, get him out of the way because he was incompetent, guilty. The blood took a different fervor in Ira's veins. He was now feeling the course of his existence change.
My name is Mara Bosnack. I'm an undergrad student at GSU majoring in journalism, and today I'm going to be reading a passage from Daisy Jones and the Six. I chose this book as my go because it really got me back into reading after so long and really reading for leisure instead of just for school. It is what I've always loved about music, not the sounds or the crowds or the good times as much as the words, the emotions, the stories, the truth that you can let flow right out of your mouth. Music can dig, you know? It can take a shovel to your chest and just start digging until it hits something. That night, singing that just reaffirmed that I wanted to put out an album of my own songs.
My name is Shauna Wagner. I'm a journalism major here at GSU, and I'll be reading For Colored Girls Who Have Considered Suicide When the Rainbow Is Enough by Intasaki Shangjae. This book is my GOAT because this is the first book that I read in high school that I actually saw myself in. She's half notes, scattered, without rhythm, no tune. Sing her sighs. Sing the song of her possibilities. Sing a righteous gospel. Let her be born. Let her be born and handled warmly.